What's up? What's up? What's up? Coach Bruce is live. Excuse me if you're starting to find I have a little bit of swagger. This is not my first time anymore. I'm starting to actually enjoy being live. Although I'm not having anybody in here, I know that at any point somebody could come in here and I could hopefully make a difference and change their lives. And that's what it's all about for me. Um, I'm out here trying to reach my tribe of ADHD men to help them reconnect in their lives with passion and purpose. Um, there's not much else to say about it than that. Is that I really want to make a difference. I want to serve this community. I feel like it's what I've been called to do. I feel like this is what every trial and tribulation I've been through has been for, and what every skill I've gained over the past 38 years has brought me to this point where I am in the best place I've ever been to be able to help men who are just like I was 3 to 5 years ago, um, disconnected with their lives, disengaged with the people who are close to them, hating their jobs and blaming everybody else, and refusing to look at the fact that they are not showing up as themselves. Um, I didn't realize that this was the case for me because I had been masking for so long. I didn't even know who I was anymore. Um, I talked a little bit about my college experience yesterday and how I'd fallen in with the wrong crowd. I didn't really talk about the fallout of that. So when I started hanging out with the people who were making the bad decisions that I was just going along with, and just kind of out of autopilot because I didn't know how to make decisions for myself. Um, like I said, I started to deal drugs. I wanted to be the middleman. I wanted to be the cool guy who always had the stuff. And these were not soft drugs. It was stuff that could get you put in jail for a long time and put you in rooms with people who are not the kind of person you'd want to introduce your mother to. And I felt cool. I felt like I was that guy. I was the person who's gonna show up to a party, and I had a fat money clip, and I was the girls will always kind of flock to me because the people who do drugs are vain and are pretty soulless. So whenever you have the stuff, they're gonna pretend like they like you. And for a while, that was really fun. and then the other shoe dropped, and my house got raided. I didn't really have anything on me at the time, but I had let the situation change in the house enough to where the guys who had been living with me had brought drugs in the house again and done them and left traces there. It was enough to get me in trouble, and for them to the police to kick our door down and um, to basically threaten me to roll over on whoever I got my drugs from or go to jail. Um, I ain't no rat. But it's funny because like I don't even care about the person that was above me. Like there was a couple different people. One of them was was actually kind of cool, kind of a friend, but he was just as lost as I was, so I wasn't going to roll over on him. And in that moment, instead of facing up to what I had done or what I had let happen or what I had gone along for the ride for or any of it, instead of doing any of that, I hid. I fled. I was in Norman, Oklahoma. I fled Norman, left school. I mean, I'd already been kicked out anyway, so because I wasn't going to class, I was too busy partying all the time, and I went back home. I went and hid out at my mom's house because I was terrified. I was so scared because I knew that there was this uncertain, likely really bad future out there waiting for me. And so I hid from it. And at this point, like as much as I didn't have a whole lot of my own identity, I still had like really positive thoughts about myself. Like I was like, because my family was so results and awards like hungry. Like they want, it's like if you got A's, like now we can be proud of you. You got straight A's. Like I used to get grounded for getting one C on my report card. Like I was grounded for like 3 months one time for one C. So straight A's were it was a given. That's what you have to do. And so I like knew I was somebody who could succeed in life. Well, this situation happening, being treated as a drug dealer because I was, but having that situation happen completely changed my identity because I no longer saw myself as this person with a bright future who just hasn't figured it out yet. I saw myself as a loser. I saw myself as a person who was never gonna like I was to me to my in my own mind, I was a convict. I hadn't been convicted of anything, but I was a convict. I was a felon. Um, I took on every opinion and expectation of myself that society has of somebody who's been to jail and comes back out like there's no foreseeable path to an exciting future in that way. So like I really wore that for a long time. I completely separated myself from that person who thought he could do anything to a person who thought he would never do anything. And I became really entrenched in this really negative thought cycle of, well, I can't really do anything else anyway. So I went back to the grocery store I worked at in high school. Like I said, I lived with my mom. I had no ambition to go anywhere whatsoever. Um, I was just hiding until my mom like could tell something was going on with me. Like she's not uh, that dense to where I could be hiding from the police, and that would be something I'd be able to not act weird about. And she found out what it was. She like did an OSCN search because she just had like moms have those gut feelings, and she found out that I had a warrant out for my arrest, and she confronted me and she took me to jail in Norman. Uh, she didn't like forcibly turn me in, but she said, "We're going." And I didn't fight her because I was so sick of hiding. Like I was so tired of being just terrified all the time that every time I heard a loud door slam or, a car backfire, that was my door getting kicked in again. And now my mom's house is being raided. Like that's what my, and then on top of that, I had the college zone I had taken out to start drug dealing, uh, sitting on my chest as well. So I was so anxious. I was so tired of being, just under the weight of it all. So I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's go to jail. And I only spent 16 hours in jail. Um, I was able to use some funds I'd had from like Christmases. My grandmother had given me bonds every year, and I was able to use that to get myself bailed out. It was a bail bond, which is kind of ironic. And from that, I was then taken to I went to court shortly thereafter, and my dad helped me pay for a lawyer. Like, I don't really remember how the financial situation helped went from there, but I didn't get away scot free. I was able to get off with time served and probation to go on to parole. Like, so for 2 years, I was absolutely playing that role of felon because I had to go see a parole officer every week and pee in a cup. And that was the most degrading thing I've ever done. Um, it doesn't sound that bad, but when you're somebody who thinks that they're going to be lobbying the Senate or Congress when they're older, or they're going to be you know a civil lawyer, going to pee in a cup on a weekly basis and working at a grocery store is not really the paragon of your dreams. So that really further entrenched that self doubt and uh, that self deprecation. I was just so far into this loop of you suck. You're never going to be anything now. You messed up and you ruined it all. You ruined it. It will never be any good now. And I was just absolutely brutal to myself. I was vicious. I was so savage in talking to myself that it became my way of thinking. It became my strong belief that I didn't deserve anything good in life. And obviously, that's not an ideal situation. Um, it's tough to talk about because I'm so far away from that mindset now, but it's just thinking about how mean I was to myself, how little grace I gave to myself because of those situations is really hard to think about. And now, moving forward a little bit, like, I did my time. I did my 2 years of probation and parole, peed in a lot of cups. Right before that all happened, I'd met my now wife, who saw me circling down the drain, as this mindset is taking hold of everything I'm doing, as I'm still doing drugs pretty regularly with money I didn't have. Like, I never had it, but I really didn't have it now because I had no future in my mind to be able to pay for anything. So I'm just wasting my life. And lucky for me, she loved me. She loved me anyway. She saw the person inside of me that existed, even if I wasn't acting like it. She saw that there was something more there. And she told me, I think it was New Year's Eve, or coming into New Year's Day. I don't know, probably like almost 15 years ago. I think it was no, closer to 17 years ago. I think I was like 22 or something. She told me, like, I'm not going to watch you kill yourself. Like, I haven't said anything. Like, I've been here for you. I've tried to be supportive, but like at some point this has got to stop. Like, I'm not going to watch you kill yourself. And I didn't want to die. Like, I didn't that was never a conscious thought, as like, just do so many drugs, drink so much, do like it was never a thought to try to just uh self-medicate myself to death. But I was definitely not trying to actively live my life. So I mean, I might as well have been dead at that point. And her telling me that was the first time I started to check into getting back to who I was supposed to be. Like, having this person who was extremely important to me, even in all my uh my shame and guilt and my wallowing in sorrow, like, this person was a shining light that made parts of my life still worth living. It was still good. And I didn't want to lose her. I didn't want her to be run off by the life I was leading. So I made a commitment to change, to start at least living. And that happened, fairly quickly, to where I didn't I didn't really fully embrace myself, but I came off of being so vicious to myself. It was no longer like you can't do anything good, to maybe you don't need to do anything terrible. Like, maybe, like, let's try to not ruin our lives today. And that's me talking to myself. It was, it was the first bit of my stream that started to like get me to the place where I wanted to start making improvements on myself. And that was, that was not the deepest or darkest hole I was in ever, but that was, it definitely both, it set the bar on the low end and the high end of where I would, eventually the depths I would eventually sink to and how much higher I would rise after that. So all of that to say, our topic today, our fourth step of my 9-step framework is become your own best wingman. So yesterday we talked about developing a truth addiction. The day before that was say what you mean and mean what you say often. And then the first day was learn to hit send on the first text. Um, a lot of this stuff has to do with like letting go of perfection and just doing. Be your own wingman is about your mindset. It's about those internal conversations that you have. Like, what is an amazing wingman do? An amazing wingman knows exactly what you want and helps you get it. So whenever I talk about being your own wingman, like here, let me tell you a little story. Uh, my brother and I, like, we used to like hang real tight. We've gotten a little bit of distance between us the past couple of years, but when we used to hang out all the time, like I noticed that he would only ever flirt with the girls who approached him. Like my brother is, in my opinion, one of the best looking guys I know. He's, you know, a tiny bit taller than me, weighs about 150 less pounds than I do, and is just stacked full of muscle. And he's a really funny guy. But in his mind, he's not worth a high quality woman. He's not. He has low self esteem. In my opinion, it is, kind of goes back to the guilt, shame, and fear that we were raised in. He zigged and I zagged in our response to it. Like I was generally pretty confident. He was generally really reserved and, you know analytical about the way he approached things. And what what I would do when we would go out is I knew that if I could gauge what he was looking for in a woman, I could find that kind of person because I don't mind talking to people. I actually enjoy it. I didn't see myself as a person who was worthy of the same kind of woman he was. And like a lot of the time I was dating somebody else or I was in a relationship, but we go way back where this is what would happen is I would, find the women who I thought were the quality that he deserved, and I would anticipate what he needed and what he wanted, and then try to set up the like most amount of success for that situation to happen. If it was me like going up and chatting up the girl's friend or inviting them to their us to a game of pool so he could like naturally introduce himself, or if it was like a hey, have you met Ted, who let's say Ted is my brother. I don't know if he wants me to out his name, but if you know me, you know him. So um but How I Met Your Mother style, like have you met Ted, and just push somebody to him and say this person's amazing, you should meet him. And once that happened, things went pretty well for him because that initial barrier was broken down for him. So that's what I want to encourage people to do for themselves is in your internal dialogue, change what you're saying from you suck, you did it again, you're never going to do like you're never going to be able to do this, you're ruining your life, you're incapable of this, or your brain isn't built to do this, or instead of saying all these negative thoughts, you need to determine what it is that you want, have it branded into your subconscious through training, anticipate what needs to happen for you to get there, set your, and then most importantly, cheer yourself on for your successes and still be there for yourself whenever you fail, like if you fail. Like that's whenever I would set myself or set my brother up for success, I would say good, lock it down, he's talking to her, everything's great, and I'd go play a game of pool or go dance. I love to dance, and so I go dance for a while. And if I if I keep checking on him, if I look back and he wasn't talking to her anymore, if he looked downtrodden or whatever, I'd pop right back up and be like, what's up? What happened? I'd assess what went down with them, and if it didn't go well, then we just hang out and party the rest of the night together. Like, that's what you need to be for yourself. You need to be there for yourself and your successes and your failures. And I don't know if it's ADHD people specifically, but I know that a lot of the ADHD people I know get in these negative cyclical thought cycles of, I can't do it, I didn't do it, I'll never do it. I can't do it, I didn't do it, I'll never do it. I can't do it. And it just keeps building more and more to where you never believe in yourself anymore. You can break that. Like, it takes work. You have to practice. You have to start to change the way you think about yourself. You have to change the dialogue in your mind. You have to become your own best wingman. If I could if I could lay this out in a diagram for anybody as to which of these steps matters the most, I would say that they're all very important. Probably laying the foundation for what it is that you want in life is probably the top, but becoming your own best wingman is second, because in order for you to get yourself what you want in life, you have to be able to support yourself to get it. If you are your own worst enemy, if you are the obstacle to all your own dreams, I don't imagine that you're going to do a whole lot to support yourself in getting there. You're not going to tell yourself a whole lot of positive things. You're going to have plenty of self fulfilling prophecies, but they're going to be the ones of you failing. Like, the people in this world who are successful, like, they may have been given things, they may have been started with, this and that, but the people who have really made themselves successful are the ones who have decided what they wanted and believe they could get it, not because of anything supernatural or because of any special skill, but because they actually believe in themselves and that they deserve good things. I I've believed I've deserved good things for a long time, but the next step of that is, once you believe you deserve good things, you have to start acting in a way to go get them. And I wanted life to happen to me. Like, I just wanted to be out here talking about the things that were important to me and just kind of hoping that people would find me. Um, that's not the way the world generally works. You generally have to, if you believe that you can do it, start acting like you can do it, and then just start doing it. And that's what I'm doing now. Like, in this, in these live sessions, I'm just doing the thing. Whether there's anybody here or not, I'm doing the thing, because I know if I keep showing up and I keep shoveling value into the ADHD man, they're eventually going to start seeing me and knowing the value that I'm bringing, and they're going to start clamoring down my door, asking for more, wanting more from me, wanting, like, more of my time, more of my focus, more specific solutions to their problems, and they're going to want to pay me to coach them. Like, I don't doubt it, because I know that God has given me the gifts of both the experience, which is a lot of trials and tribulations, and the technique and skill to be able to speak power into ADHD men's hearts. Like, it has been made so clear to me that this is the path I'm supposed to be on. I have not a doubt in my mind that before the 30 days is up, I am going to be on a path to doing this for the rest of my life. It's going to be on video, so if you don't believe me, watch along. Try me. So, once again, the steps of become your own best wingman is just recounting of what a wingman does whenever a wingman is good. Is he knows exactly what you want. He anticipates what needs to be happen for you to get there. He sets you up for success. And then, most importantly, he cheers for your success and is still standing right there at the bar if you fail. So, be your own best wingman. I mean, I don't think I can stress it enough that being a support to yourself is massively important. Otherwise, like, I mean, you could have 15 people cheering you on directly to giving trying to put positive thoughts into your head. But if you're in your head telling yourself that you don't deserve the end goal, that you don't deserve success, you're not even going to hear the people cheering from you as anything but gobbledygook and noise. You have to get out of your own way, clear the negative junk out of your head, and allow the success to happen. Become your own best wingman. Uh, quick rundown of what we've been through so far. Once again, this is my series so far talking about the 9 steps for the ADHD man to radically improve his communication and instantly deepen his relationships. First one was learn to hit send on the first text. Stop waiting for perfection. It's never going to be perfect. Just send it. Second, say what you mean what you say, and do it often. Stop keeping your love a secret. Stop holding burden or holding grudges and burdening yourself with all the anger and resentment that you have for people that you're not dealing with conflict with. Just start to figure out ways to resolve conflict in a way that aligns with your foundational uh, beliefs and values. Stop holding on to everything. Just say what you mean and mean what you say. Be thoughtful when you say things and follow through with what you said. Next, develop a truth addiction. Get addicted to it, man. I really don't think that there is a better drug in the world. There's so much upside and no hangover than telling the truth. Getting like really getting it off your chest, taking off all of the burdens and lies and opinions and everything else, and just sharing your truth with somebody is freedom. It is scary. It is it's very intense, but it feels really good whenever you like when you really lean into it and you really do it, it feels amazing. And to increase it tenfold, to have somebody embrace you and say, it's okay, I love you anyways, whenever you unburden yourself of your worst, secrets, that's man, that's you if I could bottle that and sell that, I would be a trillionaire because there's nothing that feels like it. And so that's what I'm chasing now. That's why that's the high I'm chasing is I want to get that feeling of being fully embraced in my truth every day. So I'm just honest all the time. And it's not like the diminishing returns of trying to get high on an actual drug in which, so you're chasing that high and it's never as good as the first time. It's like, well, no, it's not. It doesn't feel as good as having somebody embrace you, but telling the truth, it just feels amazing. And that never goes away. You may stop realizing that it feels good, but whenever you start to let those lies build up again, let the facade come back up, if you're paying attention, you'll feel the drop. You'll feel how much worse you feel again. And whenever you feel how much worse you feel, then you can appreciate how good it felt to be honest. So develop a truth addiction. And then to get today again, we talked about becoming your own best wingman. Just do it. Just, be the goose to the maverick. Just become your own best wingman. Stop being the person who is the obstacle to yourself. Like, why would you do that? Like if like I didn't know. Like that's a valid excuse. I didn't know I was doing that. I'm telling you, if you're not successful right now, it's because you're on your own way. Because like honestly, as humans, we are miracles of this earth. We can do anything. We can learn anything. We can build anything. We literally learned how to fly. We can do anything. But you have to get out of your own way. You have to stop telling yourself what you can and can't do. You have to pour yourself into your beliefs. You have to actually start putting action to thought and dream. You got to do it. Become your own best wingman. So that's it for today's um our main so that's it for today's main body talking about the 9 steps for the ADHD man to radically improve his communication and deepen his relationships. Um, if nobody's going to pop on here and ask any questions anytime soon, I'll wrap it up and just keep it short and sweet today. I think we're sitting at 30 minutes, right on pretty much, which is about my goal time. 27 minutes. So I'll give it a couple minutes and see if anybody else pops in the chat. I'll give it a minute. Like, why waste my time? I could go spend time with my family. So, um, yeah, man. I hope you guys are enjoying seeing the content. I know that I've talked to a couple people who are watching them in the replay, and I appreciate hearing from you guys. Um, I want to know that I'm not screaming out into the void and nobody's hearing it. And also, I want to know whenever my people are hearing my message, whenever ADHD men or people who think they might be an ADHD man are hearing this and it's ringing true to them, like reach out to me. Like let's chat. Let me, I want to help you. If you're struggling with these things, like I'm trying to find you so I can help you. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm looking for people to pour value into because I know that this is what I'm meant to do. I'm here to serve you. So if you are afraid to reach out because you think I'm going to charge you a bunch of money or something, it's not the case. Like, I'm not looking to charge every person like top dollar for coaching services. Like, I'm not really looking to charge hardly anybody who doesn't have the money to pay. Like, I am going to offer you some free time, and we'll do what we can in that time. As my schedule starts to fill up and I have less time, the people who are paying for it will get the time. That's all it's going to be. If I'm coaching you for free, I'm just going to have to let you go if when I start to get paid clients. So you will always have the option to just start paying, and then we'll be able to continue. But until that point, I've got plenty of time for free coaching. So, and also you can just pop in the live stream and I'll coach you right here. If I had somebody in the chat right now, I would coach again. All right, coach for the next 30 minutes, just talking about how I can help you reconnect and re-engage with passion and purpose, because it's important. But for tonight, that's it. Thank you, everybody who watches this on the replay. Have a great night. Be yourself. Love yourself. Peace.